process.
If I could eat meat ever again, by the way.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart.
It's not for the faint of heart, yes.
Or belly.
I closed my eyes several times, but it's a very rare thing in a horror movie.
Oh.
Yes, I must say that.
That's a bravo for us.
It is. Your character loved your character.
Thank you.
And you seem to have a very strong independent side with the character.
Mm-hmm.
What did you love playing about?
I was very careful. I wanted Justine to sort of have, because the movie's so hard to watch. You kind of, after the 45 minutes, I think, I wanted the audience to have someone they could follow. They could believe it, that they could be them, sort of the eyes of the audience. It was very important for me that Justine did that. At the same time, I thought Justine had a character arc that was very relatable. This whole idea of her being sort of, a young lady, kind of naive, dreamlike, that wants to sort of give back because she comes from a privileged background, and has like this guilt or whatever, and kind of goes down to save it because she thinks she can do it, and then gets her butt handed to herself, and learns a huge lesson and comes back as a warrior and as a woman. And I think it's such a great, way to show something like that, in this horror kind of aspect. And it's a much stronger kind of push into, hey, look, this can happen. Not the cannibal thing, but hey, you can learn a big lesson in a very bad way if you're not careful enough and if you're not researching really what you're really doing. So that was really attractive to me to do.
And then your survival skills. What did you learn about your own personal survival skills after filming this movie?
I'm tougher than I think I am. I'm way tougher. I got there and I was like, yes, we're gonna do this the first day. You're so excited. Yeah, I don't care about the bugs. I don't care about the heat. I don't care about anything. I'm here to do the real thing. After 5 days, you're completely bit. You're like exhausted. You're draining from like the heat, exhaustion. Everything is too much, literally. There's no acting anymore. You're just reacting to everything that's happening. So yeah, our survival skills were they were tested and they were great. I thought I went through like the whole kind of trip where you go, I'm gonna do this. This is so great. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. I love it. Every day, because it was so beautiful being there, and it was such an out of world experience where I actually had a parallel arc than my character, where the same way she was kind of stripped from society and everything and sort of dove into this crazy world of the jungle, the same thing happened to me. We were in such an isolated place of the world that there was no communication. There was no internet, no Wi-Fi, no cell phone reception. So I was all of a sudden forced to be in the moment and connect with a human being and spend some time with these people who were naked, painted in red, eating chicken, and we thought it was the most funny thing they had ever done, and we were crazy for doing that for a living. So it was a crazy intense experience where there was a dichotomy of I hate it, but I love it because I hate it.
And were there actual tribal people that
Yeah.
were involved with the cast? Or
it wasn't cast. They weren't actors. They had never seen a camera before. They wear clothes in real life. They live off of farming. They're very intelligent, people. They're just not connected to the world we know. They have this one little boat that goes once a month, and so they know who Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber is.
Of course.
Yet they've never seen ice. Like, it's the craziest, trippiest thing, and for me that was very powerful. It caused like a shift, to think that we live in all the commodities. I have a washing machine, I have electricity, and there's in this world right now that I'm living in people that don't know what ice is. So it was quite sort of magical for me to dive into their world and sort of understand, the kids actually want to get out of this, but the adults want to stay in their, in this comfort zone. And it was a little bit sad because I think we got the last remnants of that society. We kind of messed it up a little going with our cameras. We had kids doing selfies after 3 days. The boys loved coming up with ideas for Eli, and they would bring like a snake. That snake was Carlos's idea. That was a little 11-year-old brought a real python, a real baby python. I was like, can we put this in the movie? And Eli's like, yeah, you do. And they would do the clap. So they were very involved in the whole process, both behind and in front of the scenes. So at the end of the trip, we're like, oh my God, did we screw them up? Like, what did we do to them? And the day we left, we found out they were bringing telephone poles, and they were starting to get like really connected to the real world. So we didn't screw them up that much.
And how was it working with your husband/director for the film?
It's funny, we started working as, the first time we worked together was Aftershock, and we were both actors in it, so we were at the same level. And then we went on to work as the capacity of director and actress. And you kind of have to, when you have, I adore him. I think he's a brilliant director, not just as a partner in his life, but as a fellow worker, filmmaker. And I think he's got a very unique voice in the way he tells stories, and it's fascinating to me to be a part of the journey. And he's a very all for challenge and real filmmaker in that sense, and that's something I have in common with him. So working with him in the capacity of these crazy adventures is always a trip, and you just have to keep it professional. He's a director and I'm an actress. It's the only way it works.
Well, congratulations! I love the film, and I know
Thank
the
you.
audience is gonna love it as well.
I hope so.